This man has travelled from America on a quest. His dad recorded one of the world's most famous songs years before it topped the charts. It was fated that he never knew his father, and it was fated that the recording would be lost forever.
The song that I've been searching for and what everybody's told me was the recording they did of Seasons in the Sun. It would be absolutely amazing if that ever came about. Huge.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the hills that we climbed were just seasons out of time.
Canadian Terry Jacks released Seasons in the Sun in 1973. It went into the stratosphere.
The record ultimately sold over 10 million singles. It's one of the 30 biggest hits of all time. It was #1 in Britain, it was #1 in America, and it was #1 around the world.
Wonder how I got along. Goodbye, Papa, it's hard to die.
But what hardly anyone knows is that the song could have become synonymous with Teesside. Long before Terry Jacks had his hit with Seasons in the Sun, it could have catapulted a Middlesbrough band to stardom. It was the 60s. Teesside was buzzing. Some of the best musicians in the area were forming a supergroup. River's Invitation.
We were two halves of two very successful bands in the area, you know.
And leading the band was the man dubbed the John Lennon of Teesside, singer Alan Ludley.
Really, really good frontman. He was outgoing, sort of flamboyant in a lot of ways.
Good stage presence, just came over as a lovely bloke.
So the band had all the ingredients for success, and River's Invitation were about to be given their big break, thanks to a very familiar song.
Adieu les mille, je vais mourir. C'est dur de mourir au printemps, tu sais.
This was the very first version of the song that became known as Seasons in the Sun. Written by Belgian Jacques Brel, it was called La Moribonde, the dying man.
This dying man is rather cynical about his wife, who has had many affairs. He knows that the wife will continue to have lovers after his death. He says, "Be careful, I'll be watching."
It was reworked in English by Rod McEwen. Then in 1968, fate brought the song to a Middlesbrough band. River's Invitation had been signed to giant label Polydor Records. Seasons in the Sun would be their first hit.
I remember going to Polydor Studios and setting the equipment up.
Did they take in about 2 hours maximum, I would think.
You know, they were talking about putting strings on it, organ on it and all sorts of things, augmenting it, and we're thinking, well, that's it, yeah, here we go. This is looking good.
The band was just so happy, absolutely enjoying it, enjoying the music, enjoying the travel and everything. And then smack.
It's late afternoon. We were coming back to Middlesbrough, and my wife said, "Oh, look, there's been a crash ahead."
The band's lead singer, Alan Ludley, was in that crash.
Sadly, Alan didn't make it through. His wife, Linda, was seriously injured. Yeah, sad day.
It was fate. The band never made it big. Seasons in the Sun never saw the light of day, and there was more.
Alan had a son, Adrian, and unfortunately he was never going to know his father.
More than 40 years later, Adrian has come back from America, where he now lives.
I have a lot of memories of this house. My other grandparents would drop me off with my dad's parents here and I'd stay with them.
What have you been told about your dad's music?
I'd never experienced any of his music, and you know, since the accident, since I was a kid, I would search. Nothing ever came of it, so I could only really imagine what his voice must have sounded like. Almost 40 years later, I had finally heard his voice, and that was through
me at the radio station.
Through the radio station.
And that's because 4 years ago, Adrian contacted me at BBC Tees, and with help from listeners, we found a handful of his dad's songs. What was it like hearing his voice for the first time?
I couldn't believe it. Lots of people would tell me, they would say how a wonderful voice he had, and I realized myself that everybody was right.
So here we are at Acklam Hall, where the band did a photo shoot, and you stood near enough on the same spot as your dad, and you've never been here before.
This is the first time I've seen this place, yeah.
Adrian's now got a whole scrapbook of photos, 10 of his dad's songs, but there's one missing, Seasons in the Sun.
The first time I was told, again, I didn't believe it. It was too much because of the magnitude of that song and how everybody knew it.
Goodbye, Papa, please pray for me.
It was the first 45 record that I ever bought, and I would listen to it in my bedroom and over again imagine how he would sing it. It would be amazing to actually get that song, because that's what triggered it all. That's what's motivated me.
I thought it's lost.
And we contacted the record company, the archive, promotions people, and nothing.
I knew it was in the house
You
somewhere.
had a very strong
feeling it was there. Very strange. And I thought, I'll check the box that I haven't seen or been into for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
What is this?
And that's it. And you knew it was that as soon as you
I
looked at
knew it. There we are.
There's a couple of tracks that the band recorded, but on there is Seasons in the Sun as well.
Yep.
After 43 years, it's time to break the news. First of all, to the lead singer's brother, Tom.
Goodbye, goodbye, trusted friend.
You've got it. Oh, you've had it all the time. Little buggers. Well done. Oh, you got me there. Wow, yeah.
Adrian Hayes, this.
Yeah. He's going to be over the moon, yeah. Can I have a copy?
It's time to come clean. It's taken 6 months of cajoling and prodding Adrian to get him across to the UK. What he doesn't know is we found the song. What he doesn't know is he's going to hear it for the very first time after 40 years of searching. I'm going to play you something. I want you to listen to it.
You actually listen to the lyrics now, a thing like Goodbye, My Trusted Friend and things like that. The whole story is very relevant to Alan and Adrian.
Goodbye, goodbye, trusted friend. We know each other since we were 9 or 10. Together we climb hills and trees. Blend of love and ABCs. Skinned our hearts and skinned our knees. It's hard to die.
How'd you find it? Thanks.
We've had it pressed onto vinyl for you.
Wow. How did you keep that from me all day?
And that's not all. We've got the band back together for you as well.
Thank you all so much. Nothing can top this in my life. This is just amazing. And just is like the best experience ever. Definitely, I found a reconnection with him. It's just incredible. Perfect closure to my search. Thank you. Thank you so much.